Welcome gamers to a new video about SSRP, or otherwise known as Sick Super Ramble P. This is a Roblox SCP game about role-playing in a facility, and probably the best one out there. Fuck SCP roleplayed Roblox game. This game has mainly two teams, the facility and the Canadians. The Canadians are the CI, Criminal Intel, and CD, Computer Dictionary. The other team is the facility, and pretty much the rest of the class are in it. The important ones are the RRT Rapid Rat Tactics, MTF Malicious Team Fortress, and O5 Ominous 5. By the way, I will repeat, these are only the important ones. The rest of them aren't that important or just weaker versions of others. Let's get started with the Canadians. The Canadians' main goal are to get the SCPs out of the facility. And they are the Canadians because the facility's in Canada because of all the snow. More specifically, the CD will either try to break out of the facility, help the CI break SCPs out, or become the SCP to pretty much become Superman and able to destroy people in one tap most of the time and having tons of HP with the downside of having no fucking range. And they also could side or work with facilities to get tested on the SCPs, but I wouldn't recommend this since random killing is an unenforced law and it is funnier to get payback on the fuckers who shot you. The CI have mostly one goal. They'll break out the SCPs with either the help of the CDs, the rest of the CI team, or go by themselves, with their main goal being making the facility fall back on a nuke. Which, if the Canadians take the nuke shelter in the facility as well, it's pretty much just a complete game over for the facility with a massive L. Because it is really hard to lose the nuke shelter since there are maintenance vents that the facility can use to get there fast, as well as the advantage of defending it since they'll know when they're nuking. But back to the point. There their other goal is to get the CDs out of the facility's grasp. Now let's talk about the point. What? Now let's talk about the facility. The RRT are the last force the facility has other than nuke. The RRT is a paid access class that is pretty much the strongest PvP in the game. With the ability to have faster speed than the normal class, as well as 2 guns, night vision, and a riot shield. They usually guard the Con-X, which holds the strongest and dangerous SCPs. The MTF are the little brother of the RRT, even though most people think that the MTF is a downgrade from the RRT. That is not true. The MTF have 4 mini classes: the new 7, or the Hammer Down, A1, or the Yes Men, the Nine Tails, or the basic motherfuckers, and the Hazmats, or the Backrooms guys. Their main goal is to enforce the commands of the Their main goal is to enforce the commands of the O5s. The new 7s don't really have a main job. They are mainly focused on PvP with their 50 plus max HP and equipment. A1's main job is to protect the O5s as well as being their yes man. Yeah, that's kind of it. They don't really get any special equipment. The Nine Tails are the main force of the MTF and do the main objective of the MTF, which is to recontain and protect SCPs. The Hazmats are a one-trick pony, and that trick is having special gas masks that makes the Hazmats obviously not take damage inside the reactors, which does damage if you don't have a gas mask, as well as being invulnerable to the 008 infection. Alright, after all of that, we're finally on the O5s. The O5s are the power to launch nukes and make tests. Their main purpose in the facility is to run it. They're pretty much the manager of the facility and they command everyone under their command, but I'ma be real, people only buy O5 because of the power and unmatched authority they have. And being able to command everyone and even cuff your own personnel that don't follow your orders. But some of these people don't even read the rules and try to command their own legion. That's why some people just don't give 2 shits what the O5s say in the announcements or in the radio. Okay, now that we have all those basics about the teams, let's talk about the map. And then the mechanics. The map has 4 ways to get around. The maintenance tunnels, that is only usable by some classes. The vents, only usable by the CI and the CD. The tram, which can be found in specific locations of the map and is usable by classes. But dude, this thing is the least reliable transportation in history. Every time I use it, it throws me out halfway and I die from whatever the fuck. Anyway, and the last one is the normal way to get around the facility, which is accessible by all classes but is usually patrolled by the facility. The main facility map has 4 sections: the CDC, Con 1, Con 2, and Con X. The CDC holds the CDs and has a lot of combat and escape areas with armed CDs shooting everyone. CDC is also where the tests begin as SCD's Science Department or O5/SIDs round up CDs for tests. Con 1 is where all the facility personnel spawns are in and holds some non-lethal SCPs as well as holding the med bay and the connections to maintenance and entrance. Con 2 holds the strongest SCPs that can be used by CDs, as well as the strongest SCPs that aren't in Con X. Con 2 also holds the nuclear shelter and is very dark and has a lot of flanking ways. Con X is the hardest containment to break into as it holds a safe room which is quite literally unbreakable and is the safest thing in the whole damn facility. Did I mention that it is a checkpoint? You know the places where you make sure people are qualified enough to cross? Yeah, that place is undestroyable by anything. Connex also is heavily guarded by facility personnel as well as viable SCPs spawn there. But the reward to all these risks is that you can breach some of the strong SCPs, which might also be your downfall. Alright, now we're at the mechanics of the game. Let's start with the basics. Guns. As you level up your class, you sometimes gain weapons, but other than that, you can find weapons in armories to shoot the actual thing. To shoot the actual gun, you hold down M2, which is how most people shoot, but you can also just not aim down sights and just hold down M1 to shoot without aiming down sights. You can also press Z to switch the shoulder you're aiming from. You can press C to put your gun down. Also, headshots do more damage. Gas masks. If your class is a gas mask, you can go into the reactor room without taking damage over time. You get gas masks at level 1 of your class or by leveling up if your class has access to it. Riot shields. Riot shields are given to some classes of the MTF and RRT. Riot shields make it so that you put a wall in front of you while still being able to sprint. The wall absorbs all gunshots, which makes it useful in team fights and guarding points. Tasers. Tasers are given to all the combatants as well as SID and O5s. The taser has a small range and stuns, forces to get hit, and uncuffs anyone that gets hit by the laser. SCP items. There are a bunch of SCP items, so I'm just gonna dump them all in here. SCP items are used to recontain SCPs, and that's it. Now levels. There are 2 types of levels. There are the player levels and there are the class levels. Class levels are only levels for the class you played with to get. Mini classes XPs go with other mini classes that are in the same class. Class levels sometimes give new mechanics or weapons to the class. Player levels are the level of your facility ID, each level usually unlocking a new thing of the game. Level 1 unlocks Con 2, Level 2 unlocks something, I think. Level 3 unlocks the A1 mini class for the MTF class, and Level 4 unlocks Con X. You can technically access Con X, without being Level 4, but you would need someone else to authorize you. Level 5 is a paid level and gives a gun to all the classes except for Medic, and gives every facility class the access to the alarm room and maintenance tunnels. And that's it. That's the video. I know I haven't covered everything about SSR about site roleplay, and depending on when I post this, the new customization update might be out or it's going to come out soon. If you would like a deeper video on SSRP, then I definitely would post that. I'm planning on making a video on every class and mini class if SSRP videos get popular enough.